People tend to get all kinds of attached to their pets, which is sort of understandable because they offer companionship, unconditional love, and are all kinds of fuzzy. In fact, I bet there are many people out there watching this right now who do anything for their furry friend short of killing somebody. A thought I'm going to assume crossed the mind of a guy called Henry McNish at least once, because we know that he held a lifelong grudge for his cat after some dickhead he knew shot it.
So who is this furry feline we're talking about today?
We are talking about a baller-ass tomcat called Mrs. Chippy, which is a stupid name we will explain the origins of. Origins? Fuck it, yeah, origins of in a moment. But first, we need to establish that this cat accompanied Henry McNish aboard a ship called the Endurance. Some facts about which will presumably be scrolling below me for people who don't know the historical significance of it, but that's not as important as Mrs. Goddamn Chippy.
So we should set the scene. Got McNish.
Yep.
How did Mrs. Chippy end up on the boat with him?
Well, McNish was a carpenter for the Endurance, and according to legend, he decided to take the cat, which was a stray, before he decided to adopt it and made it his own, aboard the Endurance when he found it napping in his toolbox and took it as a good omen and a sign that the cat wanted to join him on his journey, instead of the much more likely scenario of the cat following the age-old cat tradition of, if it fits, I sits. And you own cats, don't you? Several of them.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Yes.
Will cats just sit on anything? Because I've seen the pictures out there like, oh yeah, I was trying to do some work and the cat just rubbed its furry cat asshole on my keyboard.
Well, I have a picture which is proof of they will sit anywhere.
Okay, which will presumably be behind me as you describe it.
One of my cats, she sat in the draining board. You know where you put all your plates to dry after you've washed them? She sat in the thin middle bit.
The thing that's wet and made of metal?
Yeah.
And she just sat there. Why? Did your cat need drying?
No, she sit.
Okay, well fair enough then.
Yeah, isn't it a thing that cats are quite useful aboard boats?
Yeah, not so much today, but back when the Endurance was on the seas, cats were incredibly useful because they caught rats and mice that would otherwise nibble on the meagre food sources that the sailors had. And the as of yet unnamed cat that McNish brought aboard quickly proved its worth by just hunting every single mouse that was aboard. And it got its nickname of Mrs. Chippy, if anyone's wondering, because when it wasn't hunting mice, it would follow around McNish, and the crewmen aboard the ship joked that he followed him around like an overbearing housewife, leading to them call it Mrs. And Chippy is slang for a carpenter, which is what McNish's job was, so Mrs. Chippy. And they only found out later on that Mrs. Chippy was a tomcat, a male cat, and they decided at that point the name stuck, so fuck it.
Yeah, when you was explaining the reasons about why he was called Mrs. Chippy, I was just kind of expecting it's because he would eat chips or something like that. When he wasn't catching mice, he
just eating chips. A cat that eats chips. Do cats like chips?
Yes.
British chips, not American chips. That too. Okay, so cats like French fries. I'm learning a lot about cats today. They'll sit in draining boards and eat French fries. I've got a mate who had a dog that would eat bags of flour and loaves of bread. He said one time, oh, my dog's a bit ill. Well, he ate a bag of flour. Why is that a problem? Well, what does flour do when it gets wet? All mats together. No. He said, "Dog, poor dog." Oh. It looked like it would try to pass a cannonball. I felt so bad for it. So obviously, it just turned to dough in its stomach after it drank all its water bottles. Its mouth was so dry. So that poor little doggo just had a shit out of fucking fresh baked loaf of bread out its ass.
It's like with my dog, you couldn't even give him treats because he would not eat anything. Literally, he would not eat anything unless he's seen you or another animal eat it first.
Okay.
So if you want to give him a treat, he will just sniff at it, and then if you give it to the cat and they'll eat it, he'll be like, oh yeah, I want some of that.
I want it now.
Make sure it's not going to poison him.
Oh man, that's a really paranoid dog. Is your dog like the reincarnation of a Japanese emperor or something? Poisoned to death by his subjects?
Well, he's Border Terrier cross a poodle.
What will be the name of that? Border Poodle?
Border Poo.
Noise. Oh my god. That was So, you can't warn me, Nisha. You can't do that. Woo. Oh, dear me. Oh, God. As you might expect, given its important role aboard the ship, Mrs. Chippy soon became quite important to crew morale and was deemed to be such a valued member of the crew of the Endurance that one time, when it decided to randomly leap out of a window into the ocean in the middle of the night, the captain of the boat ordered that the vessel be turned around to find it. And that's some dedication right there to Mrs. Chippy. So Mrs. Chippy's overboard, get the fuck, turn this piece of shit around and get that cat back.
So obviously, this cat is well loved,
yes,
looked after, and known as part of the crew.
Yeah, aboard the Endurance, it's seen as a valued member of the crew, keeping the food stores safe and just providing general companionship to everyone aboard.
So what happened for him to be shot?
Well, this occurred when the ship got caught in ice, and suddenly the cat's support dried up. From one person in particular, that was the captain, Ernest Shackleton, who, upon realising that they were stuck in the ice, made the decision to shoot Mrs. Chippy because she would be a drain on the supplies they had as they escaped. So what happened was Mrs. Chippy was given a tin of sardines, I think the last one they had, in fact, as a treat, and then was shot in the face. And as you can imagine, McNish was all kinds of pissed, and he reportedly spent the rest of the trip just scowling at Shackleton, refusing to speak to him. And every time he tried to talk to him, said, "You shot my fucking cat." And reportedly, when they got back from their ill-fated trip, McNish absolutely refused to ever speak to Shackleton again.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, really. I'd be exactly the same. If anyone hurt my cats...
Yeah, I'm guessing every pet owner in the audience right now is the exact same. If someone did something like that to my beloved companion, that is it. Fuck you forever. And his response is entirely understandable. But here's where this story gets amazing, because according to people who knew McNish, he never stopped being annoyed and reportedly held on to that grudge for the rest of his natural life.
What evidence have we got to say he held on to a grudge for the rest of his life?
Well, the Endurance trip ended up being quite famous, and obviously a lot of people wanted to interview McNish because he's a member of the crew. It's like, what happened? Can you tell us how it went so wrong and how you escaped the situation? He would agree to do interviews, but he would refuse to talk about the crash or their subsequent escape, and would only ever say one thing: "Fuck Shackleton for shooting my cat." Shackleton was reportedly all kinds of annoyed about this bad press, so it makes him look bad. I shot some guy's cat. And he conveniently forgot to put McNish's name forward for a polar medal, for heroism, even though McNish was the member of the crew that allowed them to escape. Because after they got stranded in the ice, McNish used his carpentry skills to turn all the lifeboats into sleds. So he was the one who was directly responsible for their escape and subsequent survival. And Shackleton rewarded this by shooting his cat and passing his name over for a medal.
It's a dick move, that.
It's not a dick move, because a dick move would imply Shackleton had a big dick. And I thought it's a chode move. Let's say right now, he had small dick chode energy. That's what it was. Let's get that trending right now, because that move from Shackleton is one displayed by a guy who just exudes what a friend of mine coined as small penis energy. So fuck that guy. It's a bit depressing to think about a guy just being upset about his dead cat his entire life. So this story does have a somewhat happy ending, because McNish, as you can imagine, constantly lamented the fact that he'd lost his furry companion. He'd lost Mrs. Chippy, and his family, when he passed away, decided, what we're going to do? We're going to commemorate this. We're going to commemorate the life of Mrs. Chippy, and they got a bronze bust of the cat commissioned and placed it above McNish's final resting place, so they could spend eternity together, at least symbolically. If you don't think that's the most adorable shit in the world, you can fuck right off. So somebody was chatting during the video. So would you like to share with the class what you were talking about?
Talking about a burger I found using the burger builder that was just pickles.
Is this oh, you're looking at the burger builder. All right, burger builder time, let's go. So people might not know. A couple of years ago, McDonald's said, do you know what's great? Do you know where you can find great ideas and people who are arseholes? The internet. And they said, we're going to give people the ability to create their own burger. And if it goes well, maybe we'll put it as an item on our menu. And understandably, immediately, it all went to shit. Have you heard this story, Nisha? You must know, because I talk about it all the time.
Yeah, it does sound familiar.
All right, so what you're going to do right now, we're going to put a conspicuous cut in here now, and Nisha's going to look it up on her phone. And you're going to go through and you're going to describe to me the burgers in this competition, because they are fucking brilliant. So Nisha, you have done your required homework, yes? What is the title of the piece we're using for reference today?
The article is called McDonald's Let the Internet Create Their Own Burgers and Guess What Happened.
That's a title, strong title. So we're going to go through the thing and then we're all going to discuss our favourites. Right, group? Is this good? Is this good? Okay. So Nisha, start. What is the top entry? And the picture will be behind me as she says it.
It's called The Sad European.
Okay. Describe the sad European to me, Nisha.
It's basically a bun with cheese.
Bun with cheese. Okay, keep going. I never remember which my favourite is.
This one I think was one of your favourites
because
it looks and sounds familiar. It's called Girth.
Describe girth to us, Nisha. Use your word.
It was literally a stack of 7 burgers.
The girth.
Benghazi Chicken Witch.
The Benghazi Chicken Witch, yeah, that's the one. Fuck. That's the internet for you, classy as always.
Which is basically 2 burgers and instead of buns it's lettuce.
That's awful. That sounds like the word. That's like someone on the keto diet. Fucking hell. Oh, what we got next?
Bernie Socialist Feast.
Bernie Socialist, what's that one?
It's just buns.
Just a bun.
It's just bun.
This is the future Liberals one. Big Macs with just buns.
Rectal prolapse. Can't actually tell what it is though.
Just describe it. Paint us an image. Join it, come on. People off camera, help. Describe rectal prolapse to me.
It looks like those cheese, like the egg things they get with the Egg McMuffin. It looks like it's that with some cheese with, I don't even know.
Is that like a chicken on top?
I don't know. It looks like a grilled chicken on top as the top bun, and then the bottom bun is like a bagel.
Let's move swiftly on. What's the next one on this list? 'Cause I think my favourite's coming up.
Pussy sandwich.
What's this one? Pussy sandwich. That sounds delicious. I can't wait to sink my teeth into that.
Is that like salami or ham? What would you say that was?
Is it? Do you know what I can describe? A mess. Let's move swiftly on. A mess.
The carbonator.
Oh, that's the one for me. What's that?
That is just like 7 buns.
7 fucking buns. Oh, is that one that looks like a candle? It looks like the Michelin man's dick. Yeah, I've seen that one. Oh, everyone's just left. Everyone is killed over in tears. What's up?
Toddler body bag.
Yeah, let's just move swiftly past this one. Go on to the next one.
Thin privilege. Everything you could think of stacked.
Okay, that's a good one.
Well, we've got atheist delight,
which is?
It just looks like a paper bag.
Okay.
Then there's Pepe.
Oh, that the peep. Yeah, someone made the peep.
Oh, I call it Pepe.
Pepe. That sounds much nicer.
It is Pepe.
Is it Pepe? I thought it was like mean peep, whatever. Meme Pepe.
Ron's creamy surprise, which is just layers of mayo.
Ron's creamy surprise. But you get to the best one, Nisha, you can't forget.
That is the last one.
Oh, is it? No. All right, my favourite one is... We can discuss that. Mine is, there's the sad European, which always just fucking slays me. And then when you scroll down, the saddest European, which is just cheese on bread.
Yes.
So group, discuss, what is your favourite McDonald's creator burger? Nisha.
I quite liked the thin privilege one.
Okay. Adam, favourite McDonald's creator which?
I could definitely eat a thin privilege.
Could eat a thin privilege. Which is the best titled one though?
Girth. just girth. That's what you need.
The new girl stood off camera holding a Carlos penis mug. What is your favourite one?
Toddler's body bag.
Fucking hell, of course. Yeah. Oh god, yes. Yeah, enjoy that, folks. I hope you enjoyed this. This should have been a focus.